Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 6th of September, comes to you from London. And we start by looking at the dollar index. Dollar just pushing higher still. It's remaining bullish above the cloud, a little bit flatter the last few days, but still bullish dollar is dominating most markets. And we're seeing the euro actually strengthening a little bit there against the dollar, but still bearish below the cloud on the medium and short-term charts. And the yen, which is where we normally see the dollar leading, is actually looking bullish there for the dollar as well. Sterling jumped yesterday on news that a Brexit deal may be closer than we think, and so we're seeing the currency jump. It's not quite above the cloud on the short-term chart. Against the euro, though, it's fairly flat even after that jump. So still too early to say sterling's recovery. Against the Swiss franc, we saw that jump as well, but we're still below the cloud on the lagging line, the short term. And against the Aussie dollar, we are seeing sterling improving there, nudging the 180 level. Bitcoin fell very sharply yesterday, fell nearly 1,000 points, so down 4% this morning, down another $260. So a really big sharp move down there has put us back into bearish territory on that medium-term chart. Thwarting any hopes of a recovery. The US stock market yesterday, we saw the S&P was down about a third of a percent. The Nasdaq actually was down quite heavily. Tech stocks sold off 1.3%, and the Dow Jones Index was down only 0.08 of a percent. So it wasn't it the tighter held stocks in the Dow didn't fall so much, and we saw the broader base Russell 2000 down a third of a percent. Looking at the futures this morning, we're seeing the S&P future down very slightly, the Nasdaq E-mini down very slightly, but that future looking pretty bearish below the cloud. FTSE in the UK down slightly, but looking very bearish on the medium and short-term charts, and the mid 250 index also turning bearish. So we are just seeing that bearish picture holding through. The DAX down a quarter of a percent this morning, also looking pretty bearish, and the CAC Quarante also starting to look pretty weak too. Overnight in Japan, we saw the Japanese market down three quarters of a percent, looking bearish there. Hang Seng down another 1%, having fallen over 2% the day before, so looking very bearish there. And the Chinese market fairly flat in Shanghai local market. In India, we saw the Sensex up a third of a percent, and the Aussie market was down 1.2%, so pretty strong falls there. Brent crude this morning sitting at $77, so looking to hold on to its gains at the moment, has just turned a little bit weak on that short-term chart, as has WTI Texas Light Intermediate. And if we look at US Nat Gas, we're seeing we're also sinking lower at $2.79. Gold is looking a bit stronger this morning, just on that global weakness, but still bearish below the cloud, just nudging that $1,200 mark again. And silver also looking a little bit bearish. US 10-year Treasury yields sitting at 2.9%, looking a bit stronger and looking more bullish above the cloud. Just lastly, a look at US tech stocks. Of course, the Nasdaq was down 1.3%. We saw Apple down two-thirds of a percent. Amazon, which has had an amazing run lately, was down over 2%, so that unwound quite a bit of that gain back below the $2,000 level. Google, Alphabet was down nearly 1%, and Facebook has fallen through the magic $170 mark, giving us now lows that we haven't seen since April, May time. So that is quite bearish for Facebook stock. And Microsoft also lower, down by 2.8%. Tech stocks really selling off quite heavily. Netflix was down 6% overnight, so that was a really big fall. And Tesla, of course, has been in the news a lot lately, also down quite heavily, down 2.8%. So we are just seeing tech stocks really pulling back. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.